Hello there, this is Tim. I'm here for part 2 of Advanced Gestures with iPhoto for iOS. In this part, I'm going over some different things you can do gesturing-wise when you're editing your photos on your iPhone or iPad. So I have a photo I'm about to edit, and there's a couple different things that you can do to do it more advanced and get around the app quicker and actually reveal some features that you would not be able to do otherwise. So the first pretty discoverable feature, I'd say, is, if you're playing around at least, is the tap and hold feature. So if you tap and hold on flag, you'll get this this little notification of flag all, unflag all, last 24 hours. That will flag everything within the last 24 hours. Or you can choose between the photos there, and you have all sorts of different options there. So tap the flag, that one, that one. So this allows you to mass flag items, which is pretty cool. You can choose a range. So tap here towards there. That will flag all of those. So you have all these different options for flagging, and you're able to simply hit this button here to unflag all. So the tap and hold for flagging is really, really handy for, doing some powerful flagging in iPhoto. Besides that, you also have tap and hold for the undo button. But something you'll notice here on the iPhone is there is no undo button. Apple decided there wasn't enough room in its interface to do it. Otherwise, there would be an undo button up at the top. If you tap and hold that, it'll let you redo. So something many of you probably know but may have forgotten is on the iPhone or even the iPad, shake. So I'm going to do auto hands. If you shake, you can undo things in pretty much any app, and that works in this app too. So I'm going to shake it, and there we go. And then it asks me undo auto enhance, and let's hit undo. So kind of a workaround is to simply remember the shake functionality. So you're able to also see, before and after by using this button here, which is pretty apparent. Another way to undo is to actually revert. So that would revert back to the original by just going to the gear here and hitting revert. So that's one thing there. Tap and hold also applies to when you're changing the exposure. So you're changing the exposure. You want the brightness here. If you tap and hold, you're able to see this little crosshairs here. That'll make it brighter. Dragging down, make it darker. And you're able to do that by tap and hold. And you're able to go left to right in a similar manner to change things. So that applies there that changes contrast and brightness. So brightness is up and down. Contrast is left and right. Now, if we go to the color palette, you're able to do a similar thing. So tap and hold. Then you're able to go upwards to make it more lush and green and blues and all that kind of stuff, or go downwards and make it all gray and black and white and stuff like that. You're also able to tap and hold to go left and right for skin tone. So the tap and hold functionality is something that it's great to have in here, and it is something you just want to, in certain apps, play around with tap and hold, because it may surprise you what things do work when you do that. So that's one thing. And the final tip I have for when you're editing an iPhoto is the ability to zoom. So when you're zooming, there's a lot of different things that this comes in handy for. So I'm in the crop tool now. Now, say I want to crop a certain area. Instead of actually using the crop tool by just dragging this thing around right here, the traditional way, you can actually just zoom in on your photo and instead choose and just move around your photo by zooming instead of using the traditional crop method. So zooming is a really handy way to zoom in on what you want to get cropped and set it there. So we are now cropping to just this area of the photo, and it works really, really nicely. Another cool area you want to be zooming in is when you're using the brush palettes. So say you want to use this any of these brushes here. So let's use the saturate brush. Now if I try to move around a photo, it's going to use the brush. But a way you can actually get to the area you want is if you zoom, you're able to zoom in without using any brushes, and then you're able to more finely tune, this is the area I want to use the brush on. Now, if we zoom out, you'll see that area is much more saturated than the others. So using zoom in this area of the app is another handy way to use it. So there's some other cool things you can do with gestures and editing on the iPhoto for iOS, but these are just some of the big ones that I found readily useful for me when I'm working with this app. So I hope they're useful for you, and I'll be back for future videos on some advanced things you can do with iPhoto as far as the different gestures that are kind of hidden in here. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back for more. Aloha.